All right, happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome on into a little combo action. We got Diamond Talk, we got Selection Sunday, Round Ball Rewind, and everything in between. Even five things we know on a Sunday from the column earlier on the website, theraiderland.com. Glad you were hanging out with us tonight. We are coming to you from the worldwide headquarters of theraiderland.com here in West Texas, and look forward to visiting with you. We will look at, obviously, Texas Tech basketball, the draw, UNC-Wilmington. We got a few thoughts on the matchup, early analysis on that. We won't go too deep into the bracket beyond that. We got a few thoughts on the matchup, just what we've seen. We've got Tech baseball sweeping, Tech softball sweeping, everybody busting out the broom. So, hey, it's a Sunday night. We got time. We can do basketball. We can do baseball. We can do this. We can do that. We can go wherever we want to go tonight. Now, the early part is up to you. What do? The early arrivals. You let us know the audio is good, the video is good. You give us thumbs up, just like James is doing right there on Facebook. Maybe you're on our YouTube channel. You share it, you like it. Drive that metric, invite people in. Maybe you're on Twitter, Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media. You do the same thing. All right? And you invite people in. And then we have an amazing conversation. We enjoy our time together, and we get off down the road. So I think we're doing all right. Scotty's ready to go. Coming about. He must be a Navy guy. We got a Navy guy right there, and Scotty perhaps. Never know. So let's get this rolling in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, our official website. Everything we do, we archive it there. We start your day there. We'll do it in the morning with a good, bad, and ugly recap at theraiderland.com. If you missed our Sunday column, 5 things we know on a Sunday, check it out after the broadcast. We are brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza, Domino's.com. All week long, you're going to need great pizza. If you want really good pizza, you want awesome pizza, you want Domino's Pizza. Great partners with us in Raiderland for so many years, decades, all right? Decades with Domino's Pizza. Get the app, save some money. They bring it to you. You go pick it up on the way home. You create the hotspot. It's really cool. Also by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty. He had an open house today in Lubbock. Really cool. I think it was Preston Manor. He's the official realtor in Raiderland. If you're buying or selling a home in Lubbock, you need to call Kyle Rogers. If you couldn't make it out, hey, it's on his Facebook page and everything. Check it out. Tell Kyle Rogers. Go to all of our sponsors when you can and tell them thank you for being a part of it. And every communication brought to you tonight and every night, United Supermarkets and Market Street. There's one supermarket that puts their name on Texas Tech, like basketball arenas and all sorts of cool stuff. There's another one in Lubbock that takes your money and sends it on downstate and takes it to other places. Thank you, United Supermarkets. We were there earlier today, and we got cool stuff. So it's a good thing. All right, so let's get it going. All right, so the questions tonight. Do you like the draw? Do you like where Texas Tech is? We've been telling you for a few days, Wichita 3 seed. It was going to be wherever Houston wasn't. Ends up being in the West. That's where we thought it was going to be. Shout out to our guys at hoopshd.com and Dave Ahmed at Brackenville.wordpress. They had Tech nailed as the 3 seed in Wichita. It was just a matter of location. And as the week goes on, we may get into the funkiness of this selection committee just straying away from all bracketing principles, let alone the North Carolina debacle. And it's a debacle. West Virginia should be in, North Carolina in. Oh, wait, is there AD on the committee and they're ACC? And before we go any further, I must remind you, everybody have a sip of beverage, because what I'm going to tell you is going to be true. It may rock your soul, and it may be hard to understand. The NCAA tournament is a TV show. It's a TV show put on in conjunction by the members of the NCAA to make a tremendous amount of money with their TV partners. It is no more, no less a TV show, any more than the revealing of the bracket is a TV show, handing out roses, making people wait to see where your teams wait to see where they're going to go. It is a TV show. North Carolina is better for TV than West Virginia. Therefore, North Carolina is on the TV show. The games will be structured and they will be not seated, but they will be shown in an order that will benefit TV partners from this standpoint. If you are doing a bracket, wait until the times come out. If you want to know where the potential upsets are, watch Thursday and Friday morning. The first two windows for TV is where they put the potential upsets. Why would they do that? Oh, they want you to watch all day. They want you to come back to work at lunch and go, oh man, did you see that upset? And they want you to watch all day into the night. They structure the upsets by putting those games on early in the day on Thursday and Friday. It's a TV show. Never forget it. Well, let's get it going. Your thoughts on Tech, the bracket, where you like them falling, anything else? We'll go through baseball tonight. This show belongs to you. So get in, whether you're on Twitter X, and we want to hear from our Twitter X people. Everybody can get in on the comments, thanks to United Supermarkets. YouTube people, and if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. All right? Don't cost nothing. James, Dave from Bracketville seems frustrated after the reveal. We'll get into that probably more in the next couple of days. But yeah, they really strayed from a lot of bracketing principles. There were 7 new people on the committee, and there are a lot of people who follow this closely who are like, y'all really didn't do the best job you could. The UNC thing apart from it. Scott, sounds good, but the shirt is kind of loud. What do you mean kind of loud? I think it's a beautiful shirt. It's a Sunday. And if you want a shirt like this, you go to our official Western wear apparel provider and Boot City, 1 money saving mile outside the West Loop in Lubbock. Cody will get you squared away, Scott. This is the kind of shirt we wear every day in Raiderland. BT, Red Raider. Why is that in like parentheses there? Wreck-em, 2 exclamation points. That's worth a sip. Elite 8, here we come. Maybe. What's your thoughts on St. John's if that's the matchup? They're good. They've been playing well. Had they been tested the way Big 12 and SEC teams have been tested? That'll be the question. We'll see that early on. Going back to the bracket there, St. John's getting Omaha. And then you've got 2 kind of paper tigers, in my opinion. Kansas is a 7 as a paper tiger. Arkansas, a little bit of a paper tiger as a 10. So St. John's, if you get to them, will they have had to do something? We'll find out. Let's get through Wilmington first, right? Let's get to them as we go through tonight. And we do have some numbers. We do have some thoughts on this Wilmington team that wins the CAA tournament. First time in 7 years that they have done that. Chris, draw plenty good. Plenty good, although Drake in the second round could be interesting. Could be. Drake and Missouri, so they're neighbors. Drake, for those who don't know, is in Iowa. A lot of times they play in non-conference. I think they have over the years. I don't know if they did this year. I probably not. They would have matched them up in the first round, I guess. But, Drake is typically a 3-point shooting team, a little high flying. Missouri banking on that. They're banking on the RPI out of the SEC. I have not seen Missouri play a whole lot this year, so I can't give you a whole lot on them right now. If we get there, we will. Peyton jumps in. He's on Facebook. We got Facebook. We got YouTube at Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. Subscribe if you've never subscribed. It don't cost nothing. And we're really close to 500, and then that explodes the metric, and that's cool. Thousands of you guys on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Same thing on Facebook. We appreciate it. Watch where you want. I like it. Tech should go to Final Four. I'm disappointed TCU didn't make it. TCU didn't make it. You've got West Virginia not making it. TCU not making it. It doesn't surprise me. Not at all. Tech should go to the Final Four. No. Tech should not go to the Final Four. Tech could go to the Final Four. Tech might go to the Final Four. Tech should not go to the Final Four. Not should. Now, when you're a 3 seed, when you're a 1 seed, you should go to the Final Four. That's the only one that you should go to the Final Four. Scott Love, a 3 seed in the West. St. John looks tough with 30 wins. Missouri will be challenging. 13 SEC teams is like 3 too many. Yeah, and that's where we're going to get back into the bracketing principles with the committee this year and the new members on the committee and how they, I think, really took into, and I don't want to get into a whole analytics discussion and a metrics discussion, because there are 2 different things I think that we're losing track of right now in college basketball. Some of the metrics are predictive game to game. Some of the analytics rate the teams in echelon of where they actually rank that are independent of what we would do in a single game matchup. I fear that and this is, I have no problem with KenPom, net ranking, all of that stuff. It has its role. But I think you've got a lot of people on the committee right now that really don't actually understand how some of the metrics apply to an S curve and putting together a field of 68, 64, whatever you want to call it right now, that they've got so much information and an inability to apply it to building the bracket. And I think that's what you're seeing with guys like Dave Almond at bracketville.wordpress.com, that he understands how to utilize that information and apply it to building a bracket, structuring the best 60, however many teams we got in a given day in the tournament. So we go 3 too many. Well, 3 too many based on what would be the question. And it always sorts itself out, and we end up arguing over West Virginia versus North Carolina, and probably 2 teams that wouldn't do anything, right? But I think what we're seeing, though, is, well, I'm going to give you a little heads up here. We're going to release on our site either tomorrow, Monday night, or Tuesday, the new world order of college basketball and what the college basketball championship will look like in a few years from now, when the major schools break off from the NCAA and they no longer need the NCAA, and you no longer have to put Wofford and Omaha and whatever the hell ALST SFU is, and AMR and you don't have to put those teams in. In Akron, you don't have to put in, and you don't have to put in St. Mary's. That here in a very short order, we're gonna show you what that tournament would look like this year. We're going to do that either tomorrow or Tuesday. I have top men working on it, as long as their wives aren't taking them out to dinner tonight. Hi there, Alan. What are you doing? Selection show Sunday, and Alan's wife decides to take him to dinner, and I get him working on stuff. All right, we will get to Tech baseball sweeping Houston, and we will have Diamond Talk. Don't worry. In fact, from here on out, just cross-pollinate basketball, baseball. Texas Tech sweeps Houston. Rumors of their demise greatly exaggerated. The first RPI will come out from d1baseball.com tomorrow. Tech football guy will be shocked where Tech is in the RPI. I'm not saying they're going to be like 20 and like a lock solid team in the NCAA tournament, but football guy is going to be shocked. You saw this weekend that Texas Tech actually is a pretty darn good baseball team that played, depending on how you look at it, the number 4, number 6 schedule non-conference. And they sweep Houston. They run rule them. And Tech fans owned Houston this weekend. It was great. So get in, fire away. United Supermarkets and Market Street, taking care of your comments. Let's go from here. Bracket, what do you like? We'll be with you as long as the conversation is good. Let's go to the fake Natalie Maines on Twitter X. That's at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. Follow us there. How are you? I'm fine. Oh, you're fine too? We're all fine. As Brian Bosworth would say, the NCAA stands for the National Communists Against Athletes. Just so you know. Love you. Yeah, that's right. What was that, 85? Can't remember. 85? 84, 85. You know? Randy Wade. Are you disappointed we aren't going to Denver to see all the crime-ridden streets? I'm sure all Tech fans are disappointed they're not going to Denver. Denver. It's hard for me to, you don't say it Denver. It's Denver. It's a soft E-N, Denver, if you want to say it right. James, Houston baseball preseason was way light compared to Tech. Yeah, every Big 12 team, non-conference, was way light compared to Tech. Way light compared to the Red Raiders. Now Texas Tech sitting there tied for the top spot. Let's go to the standings. Arizona 3-0, Kansas State 3-0. They played nobody. Tech 3-0. West Virginia and Oklahoma State got in 2 games this weekend. The horrific wildfires around Stillwater impacting that, I believe. And here's the problem in Big 12 baseball and college baseball. We can't make up games. It goes on a winning percentage. And I hate that Oklahoma State was put in a horrible position. And I can only imagine for those players, with what was going on this weekend around it, having to play. I wish we could have delayed that somehow. I would love to see, and they'll never do it, a weekend before the Big 12 tournament starts that you have selected makeup games that impact the standings. I don't know how to do that efficiently, but we've talked about it for years. Like, you could actually get up to the Big 12 tournament 3 days before for 3 or 4 teams that need to play a couple of games, and you play a couple of games and it matters. And I don't know. Hate that. But yeah, Arizona sitting there at 15-4, Kansas State 12-7, 3-0, and Tech at 3-0, leading the Big 12 conference in baseball after that. Scott, Tech was 15.5 faves in opening game. Was? Or is? Are we talking? Because I'm still waiting to see some lines coming in. Now we got a few. Thank you, VSIN, and we got a few coming in there. All right, Texas Tech, 15.5 on the open. That is pretty much what I expected. I just saw a 16 pop. Thank you, that. Okay, we'll see where that goes. So Tech and UNC-Wilmington hanging 15.5, 16 early, popping the other direction. I don't have a total on that. Where are we on the international market? Tech and UNC-Wilmington 15.5, 142.5 on the over. All right, I was gonna. If I'd been asked to hang a number on that, I was gonna go 12.5, 13. Not surprised we go there. Scott, I'm a YouTube subscriber. Now you are. Thank you. Drive it, invite your friends, and everything else. 15.5. You guys like the number? Hold on. I got a text a friend of mine who just called me who has no idea I'm up there. There we go. I'm on the air. Sorry. All right. Thanks, Warren. A lot of the sports talking heads real high on Florida. Yeah. They're coming out of the SEC. Everybody's going to be real high on teams out of the SEC. And the cool thing is going to be, hey, let's beat up Auburn for having a late draw. No, Bruce Pearl's team is going to still be really good. Here's the deal. Auburn is what the Big 12 was 2019, 18, right in through there. Baylor, Tech, in through that stretch, Kansas. Yeah, they're really good. All right. So don't just sit there and go, oh, they're getting love because they're the SEC. No, they're getting love because they're really good up at the top. But it brings up the middle and the back end artificially. So don't buy into some of that on the back end. All right. But yeah, the good teams in the SEC are good basketball teams. Okay. It's okay to admit that. Tim jumping in on our YouTube channel, Rhinites Raiderland YouTube. Thank you, Tim. I'm sure you're subscribed, and I'm sure you hit thumbs up on it and shared it. UNC in over West Virginia. Crime against college basketball, but UNC, the bigger brand, and they love the history. So, yeah, TV ratings. It's a TV show. The NCAA is a TV show that funds the rest of the NCAA. The NCAA membership makes more money off the NCAA tournament TV contract than anything they do, which is why the major football schools, when they leave here in a few years, will absolutely start their own tournament. They'll put it on Fox Sports, and the NCAA tournament, as you know, it dies. But you'll still watch because it'll actually be better. Keep them coming on baseball, basketball, back and forth, Tech, UNC-Wilmington. I'll give you some numbers here in a minute. What I've seen a little bit regarding Wilmington and the matchup that I think we'll get into. We got plenty of time before they tip off at whenever they tip off, 1:30 or whatever. 15.5. Thanks for Scott telling us about the number. Agreed there's too much complaining about number 28-36 in the field. That's what we do, though. Sound like Danlaw Field with so many Tech fans in Houston this week, and they owned it Friday, Saturday, and then today. It wasn't even close. And, you know, it reminds me, Chris, somebody, and I don't know whether it's Heartland Sports, which they do a great job covering the Big 12 and college sports. Somebody's like, where are the Houston fans at the Big 12 basketball tournament? I'm like, dude, welcome to 1995, 94, and why Houston wasn't in the Big 12. Houston's a fine academic institution. They truly are. They really do a great job educating young people in the state of Texas. However, sports-wise, for decades, going on 30, 40, 50 years, they've just never truly supported the school, and they truly never travel. Whether it was to the Southwest Conference tournament in Houston, in Dallas, or they never got in the Big 12, they don't travel. And people are like, this is a great team. Where are they? They don't travel. The O-line, you know, it's a suitcase school, that it was a commuter college. Well, that was true back in the 60s and 70s to an extent. Now, a little bit more on campus, but really the Houston community does not support Houston athletically by showing up at football games on campus, showing up at basketball games there at the Fertitta Center, what used to be Hofheinz. And I was chuckling seeing that with people going, where are they? You're seeing why they weren't in the Big 12 to begin with. You know, in this weekend, you saw more Houston Tech fans in Houston than Houston fans for a 3-win Tech team coming in. That's the way it goes. James, I predict the Tech RPI will be 50-60. I'm going to say about 65, right in through there. If we're talking Tech baseball, and I think you are, obviously. We'll see how much the non-conference schedule weighs in. I'll tell you this. The RPIs and the computers love strength of schedule, particularly early on, because it outweighs any other components you can put in. And again, as I understood it, no math would be involved. But early on, strength of schedule is the best thing they've got based on who you played and how they're doing. It's heavily weighted. Your teams you played are winning games at a huge rate. It evens out as you go through, but early on, that's why you see every year in the RPIs in baseball, you know, some team that you're going, how the hell are they like in the top 10? Well, they played a great schedule. They won a few games. Now, I don't think Tech, I'll be shocked if Tech's higher than 50. I hope you're right. I would take 65 and drive it like I stole it. Gary is getting in. Oklahoma State AD is the Big 12 rep on the selection committee. Good for him. Yep. Pitching finally showed up. Hopefully this will continue. First 2 days, you go through 4 pitchers. Now, I know you went through 3 last night, but really you only went through 4 because Espinoza, I think, went for 1 batter, gave up a home run, got him out. The pitching the first 2 days was fantastic. And it's amazing what happens when you settle in and face some guys and go, man, we've seen some of the best we can see. You've got a little confidence maybe from that. You execute a few pitches, you get some outs, and you go, all right, we can do this. We can get these guys out. The wind was blowing out last night. People were freaking out. And they gave up a bunch of runs. Yeah, the wind was blowing out. It was a 1997 Saturday night college baseball game. First one to 15 wins. It only took 13. Meanwhile, back at the comments, brought to you by United Supermarket in Market Street. I hope everybody is sharing this and finding people in. If you're on YouTube, and I love see Greg right there on YouTube, Ryan Iance Raiderland, If you're on Facebook and you follow us there, that's great. I love you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, subscribe to YouTube and then cross-pollinate. And then if something happens like we had earlier this week with Twitter where it wasn't working, you can watch us wherever you want to. All right? So do that. Tech basketball looks in good spot. Let's go. And we'll do this as we go through the week. It's all about health and matchups. Health and matchups. Tech pitching strong all weekend, yes. Watching Tech Houston on demand. Replay on the plus, good. I think you'll like what you're seeing. If we're playing at Florida in the Elite Eight, I'll take it. Tech plays Florida well. What you need to do, though, is get Zaire Smith back in the building, right? Warren, I see you now. Well, there you go. See, Warren was who I was responding to on text message. I'm like, I'm working here. I'm doing stuff. By the way, if you want to do a bathroom remodel or do some cool stuff on your house and everything, maybe an outdoor setting where you thought, honey, a pergola would look good there. What if we put a pergola there? And she goes, I don't want a pig. No, a pergola. It's totally different. Warren Taylor got a call. Ultra Exteriors in West Texas. They've been around for generations. Hi there, Ultra Exteriors, one of our great sponsors, and Warren jumping in. Meanwhile, back at the conversation, Houston Cougars do not seem to have sports fans agree. Out at the Jones Stadium, so hard to find except parents and players. Oh, okay, yeah, like when they come to town, I get it. You understand. I mean, I'm not bagging on the school. It's totally different, right? Totally different. School versus sports fans, for whatever reason may be. All right, let's talk about UNCW, UNC-Wilmington, for just a minute. In the immediate aftermath, as we looked at what they might be able to do against Texas Tech, a couple of things come to mind. All right, names you need to know: Donovan Newby, Noah Ross, Bo Montgomery, Kamari McGriff. And then after that, let's go back to their stats. And they've got a 7-footer named Harlan Obani. So what do they do that could be problematic for Texas Tech? They have depth. They really go pretty deep. When you look at their averages, Donovan Newby, and their top scorers are guards. If you look at their top scorers, they're guards and not big guards, like 6'1". All right, I think Newby's 6'1". I have to double check on that. Give me a second. Yeah, 6'1", 185, out of Chicago Heights, Illinois, Bloom High School. He's their top scorer at 14.6. After that, Kamari McGriff, forward 6'9". JT Toppin will take care of that. Let's go down, 9.3 points a game. That's your 7-footer, Harlan Obani, also averaging a mere 5.9 rebounds, but that that doesn't lead them. Sean Moore leads them in rebounds at 6.5, and that gets to the depth. They go a legit 8 or 9 deep. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 9 points a game, and 6, Sean Moore off the bench at 8.8, another one 8.1 at Noah Ross. What do they not do? They give up a lot of threes. If you look at the team numbers, now they'll go out, they've scored a lot of points this year, but against inferior competition to the Big 12. So they're averaging 79.4 points a game, giving up 69.9. They ain't going to score 80 against Tech. I'd be shocked if they do. All right? I think you can defend them better than they've been defended. So let's look at their field goal percentage, 47%. They give up 42.9. But I wanted to see what they were doing threes. They give up 8.2 threes per game. The opponents hit at 33.5. They don't get out on the arc very well. And that's where we're going to kind of finish it tonight and go, I've told you so many times this year that if you shoot too many three-pointers, it's bad. Tech's going to shoot some three-pointers against this team, I would imagine. All right? I think Texas Tech will launch some threes in this game. They're probably going to give up some threes. And if they try to defend it, apparently they're not very good at it. The only other thing is, can Chance McMillan go? How banged up is he? What's D. Will looking like? JT Toppin, fine. We're not too worried about that. Your health is everything. I wish this had been a Friday-Sunday matchup for Texas Tech instead of a Thursday. And, hey, if they're giving out game times yet, I haven't seen it. As soon as we get game times, and they may not do it. I can't remember if they do it tonight or tomorrow. But let me know if you see a game time pop up there. By the way, I'm still seeing 15.5 on the population on Texas Tech and Wilmington. Nothing new there. So, yeah, the first thing that struck me is this is a team that gives up a lot of threes that I think Tech can score on. They do have depth. And if it becomes a foul-plagued game, they got dudes, they got guys that they feel like they're probably comfortable going 8 and 9 in their rotation. Tech right now, maybe not. So we see what happens from there. All right, get your comments in, your questions in. We're hanging out tonight talking Texas Tech basketball. Texas Tech baseball sweeps Houston, softball sweeps Baylor as well. We can get into your baseball thoughts. Exactly what this team needed. You had Villeneuve and Logan Hughes going off last night, both of them getting 2 home runs. Go back to the box score real quick. Protect baseball today. Give me half a second to get there. Obviously, you put up 11 runs in a run rule. Villeneuve again with 2 hits on the day and a couple of walks. And then the solo shot, 2 solo shots. Lopez had 1 and Maxey had 1. Maxey 3 for 5, 3 RBI. He led them in RBI on the day. And then Zane Petty gets the really good start, but doesn't get the win. Goes 4 2/3, but it's a vulture win by Beavis. No Butthead involved. He's 2-0, 1 1/3 on the day. Jordan 2 outs in relief, and then JT Drake goes 1 1/3 in relief. And neither of those give up runs. Obviously, the only run given up today, 1 by Petty. It was earned. 6 hits and 3 walks on the day. Here's the weird stat of the day that I didn't catch until the game was over. Tech pitchers didn't strike out a single Cougar today. And by that, I mean an actual Houston baseball player, not a 45-year-old woman hanging out at the bar. Totally different. That is really weird to have an 11-1 game and you don't strike at an opposing batter. New Mexico coming up this week. Probably just what the doctor ordered. So if you got Tech baseball thoughts tonight, get them in. Tech basketball, do you like the draw where Texas Tech is? At first I thought, oh, man, they threw Kansas in there. I'm like, Kansas will never get there. You're not going to have to worry about it. So you don't have another Big 12 team down there with Florida sitting as the 1, the 2 in St. John's, you as the 3, and then the 4 up there in Maryland. Fear the turtle? We'll see. The interesting teams in there become some of the SEC teams in Oklahoma. And how do you value Missouri? Is Missouri the team in the second round you want to play, you don't want to play? You tell me. You tell me. All right? Meanwhile, back at the comments, JC jumping in off our Facebook channel. Right now, it's Raiderland. No, I'm sorry. That's YouTube. Sorry. YouTube. Right now, it's Raiderland on YouTube. Don't cost nothing. Tech won't be a dog until St. John's. Yeah. Meanwhile, Browning Wood on Facebook, and if that's who I think it is, a fine Coronado Mustang, maybe Mr. Mustang, who's one of my favorite people of all time. And I'm not just saying that. I truly mean it. Truly mean it. Who's favored in the men's basketball game? Tech, 15.5-point favorite. I mean, if Duncan could have walked on at Tech, Browning, you could have done it too, if you wanted to. 21-15 Tips Central is. That seems. We have that confirmed, JC. That's a little late for Wichita. Meanwhile, CJ, I believe we'll play Florida for the West. That'd be a great game. Would love to see it. Tech and Florida have had this odd intersection in postseason in basketball and baseball. Never played them in football. Interesting. Good to see you. No, serious. Could have done it. We got a confirmation on the time? Anything? See, when I'm hanging out with you guys, I'm like flying blind on a lot of this stuff. I'm relying on you guys to come back in and help me out on times and everything else. Hold on, we may be getting some time. Nope, I've got a time here on Texas Tech and UNC-Wilmington. No, that's not right. They're just throwing those up. That cannot be right. Nope, sorry, not going to give that one out. That's not right. They're just putting stuff out there. All right. So beyond baseball, this week you got TU coming up after the New Mexico. Never play New Mexico. New Mexico is dangerous, bad. Never play New Mexico. If I were the athletic director at Texas Tech, we'd never play New Mexico in anything. And I love northern Mexico because it used to be a part of Texas. But the rest of New Mexico, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Just no. You take 2 or 3 from TCU. You close out the month with K-State. You could end up the month feeling pretty good. I want to see that D1 baseball RPI tomorrow morning. I can't wait. Hey, Kendall Rogers, D1 baseball, get that thing out early tomorrow. I got stuff to do. So the going back, I'm going to go back and look at something again. I thought there was a stat on Wilmington that bothered me, and now I'm looking for it. Where's their rebounding? Yeah, they had a 7.3 rebound margin. I don't have the breakdown offense and defense, so we're going to have to look for that a little bit this week, and I'm going to try to get a guy on. I've got a guy in North Carolina that I know, and I don't know that he covers Wilmington, but he's closer to North Carolina than I am, out of the Charlotte area, that maybe we can get on this week and get a little bit of a feel for that. But, if you want to know, so they win their 7th CAA men's basketball championship this past week. 17 points from Donovan Newby, 3 other Seahawks in double figures as they knocked off Delaware 76-72 in the finals of the Jersey Mikes. Can we have a little love for Jersey Mikes? Number 13, Mike's Way. The only way to get that. Men's basketball championship at the Care First Arena. And really, we should all care first, right? They're 27-7, as you've probably seen. They advanced to the tournament for the first time since 2017. Nothing else on that. In the title game, UNC-Wilmington at the line, 24-29 free throw attempts. So don't put them on the line. They'll kill you if you put them on the line. We can't do that. That would be horrible. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so you guys can get in. We'll go a few more minutes. If you got thoughts on the draw, overall tournament selection process, everything, a lot of long-time tournament prognosticators are looking at this seeding going, we've got a new world order with 7 members on the selection committee, and they really abandoned some of the previous principles, moved some teams around, did some stuff, seeded them in a different way, and it's going to be interesting to get their feedback over the next 24, 48 hours. I'm talking about guys like Dave Almond at Bracketville.wordpress, our hoopshd.com crew, everything else to see what they think this committee looked at. We talked about analytics earlier and how to utilize it and how I think it can be misunderstood and not applied from a predictive to a seeding standpoint. That being said, this is the bracket we got. I do feel bad for West Virginia. I think they should have been in. Carolina gets in because it's a TV show, and we know that. We understand that. We embrace it and go, yeah, it's a TV show. Dang, stinks if you're West Virginia. You thought you'd done everything. Drake is the D2 national champ. Coach won 3, brought his players to Drake. Hence, we got that. Yeah, so for those who don't know, Drake sitting there with Missouri as the 11-6. We'll see. Game time is 9:10, scheduled 9:15 tip. Central? Good Lord. Really? Man, I hope you're wrong. Not saying you're wrong, JC. I mean, you guys are seeing this right now, and it's coming in. That just stinks. I really hate that. And it's, really? 9:10 on Thursday. Okay, I don't like that. And I think that actually favors an underdog for a lot of different reasons. It gets you out of your normal routine. It gets you way out of your normal routine. You've got to stretch out a day and try to figure out what to do and how to make that wrong. Well, yeah, if I teach you anything, never be wrong. 100% on that. But goodness, I hate that. Sweet spot would have been about that second window after the early games. And I'm kind of surprised with the 3 seed. And I know it's not a glamour matchup, but I'm kind of surprised with a Central 3 seed they wouldn't put that on during that early afternoon window. Yeah, it's just crap. It's a bad spot. I don't like that. That gives me a bit of an icky feel. All right, I'm revamping a couple of things here to see if lines have moved. Still showing 15.5 on the American market and on the international market. Offshore, we should say. Far away places. Still hanging 15.5 and 142.5. Texas Tech as the favorite. Dude, I wish we had had to give me that. JC, best is window after the evening news break. Well, okay, for you guys fan-wise, I really think from a team, you get up in the morning and you play early afternoon, and that's really the best way to do it. You don't have to sit around. You don't have to do stuff. You're not killing time at the hotel. You don't have to do anything. You just get up, kind of go play. The other thing is you don't get a shoot around in the building that's really going to matter on this. Chris, 9:10 on True TV, my friend at Matt Coatney, ready to say on Twitter, what is True TV? True TV. So that's the impractical jokers. Now I don't have to call in sick Thursday, says Timbo on YouTube. Yep. Well, all right. Now we know. It's going to be late Thursday. We'll have to kill time all freaking day. All right. We can do that. And I'm hoping the game is so easy that there's no reason for me to come back with you guys on Thursday night for a round ball rewind, and we'll just figure it out with a normal daily broadcast on Friday. Because, yeah, that ain't going to be fun for anybody. All the sports bars, which are dying, and all the restaurants and everything in Lubbock are just going, really? 9:10? 9:10? Okay. Somebody call Nick up at the reserve. Tell him it's going to be 9:10. All right, last chance. Get your comments, questions in. We want to thank everybody for hanging out on a Sunday night with us for a little diamond talk, a little round ball rewind. An unusual time, obviously, for us to be on a Sunday night. The Monday schedule is as normal. We'll be back with you in the morning with our morning column, and we will recap the weekend with you. Good, bad, and ugly style. The things you love, things you hated, things you had to turn away from. That'll release early in the morning. We'll have our Raiderland hot links. And then tomorrow, normal Monday night live, 6:30 Central Time for the daily broadcast. Well, yeah, I know it's the West region, but nobody cares about times. The region doesn't matter. We can play games anywhere we want to. So, want you guys to get ready for a big day tomorrow. And if you can do just one thing for me tonight, 2 things, 3 things. If you can do 7 things for me tonight, kind of sounding like Steve Martin in the movie The Jerk. First off, share this and then subscribe to all of our platforms on YouTube. Don't cost nothing. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook and on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. So share that. Then if you can just thank any of our sponsors by going onto their Facebook page or anything else and saying, hey, thanks for supporting Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. None of this happens without them. The great people like we had talking about earlier today, Domino's Pizza here in Lubbock, Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty, United Supermarkets, all of them, all of our great sponsors. And so many, you can see them when you go to the website at theraiderland.com and you click and check out the content. Just go tell them thanks. Means so much. Means so much. We enjoyed it tonight. We're going to post this on the website here in just a little bit. There at theraiderland.com. You can share it off the website if it's easier. And then off we go in the morning. All right, let's have a great start to the week. It's been a beautiful Sunday here in West Texas. All Sundays are beautiful. And we will rock and roll this thing this week with you guys. It's going to be just amazing. So let's get ready for it. We can sleep, in, I don't know, July or something. All right, so check out everything we do at theraiderland.com. Yeah, com.